Welcome to EY India Insights podcast. I'm Sudhir, your host, thrilled to introduce our new series, Navigating Alliances. Join us as we explore the exciting world of strategic relationships and alliances. Learn how EY teams collaborate within a vast ecosystem, harnessing global alliances to empower clients with transformative technology and insights. Today, we're joined by Samir Prakash, EY India's tax technology and transformation partner, and Nitin Gotian, Regional Vice President of India and Asia South at UiPath, sharing decades of expertise in driving digital transformation through strategic partnerships. Samir,
Yeah.
Nitin, thank you very much for joining our podcast today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sudhir.
Sudhir, for inviting us. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, same here, Sudhir. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
So let's dive right in. Samir, my first question is for you. How impactful has AI and GenAI been in the tax ecosystem?
Yeah, thanks, Sudhir. Great question. And before I answer the question, let me set the context of where tax is right now in its journey. Right now, what we're seeing is a very interesting transformation, largely driven by some regulatory changes that have happened in the recent times. To give you an example, clients are now required to report data to the government in real time. And tax is in many ways seen as acting as a custodian of this data that goes out to the government. Now, this real-time access to the data of the enterprise by the government is what I like to term as the API economy, where uh, companies interact with external stakeholders such as suppliers, customers, government through electronically through APIs. Now the question is tax geared up to be able to do this kind of a real-time reporting? The answer is no. The conventional set of technologies for finance and reporting do not cater to this kind of a new requirement. And that's exactly where we see a strong play for emerging tech, such as AI and generative AI, that helps to bridge this gap and makes them ready for this new, I would say, tough operating environment that is at play right now. What we've seen is several clients are initiating digital transformation initiatives to see how they can drive more digitization of tax. And there we see AI and playing a very key role, and we're seeing some excellent results. So we look forward to how this whole space evolves.
Thank you very much, Samir. That was a great start to our conversation. Nitin, your take, please.
No, I think honestly, we are at a time in, moment in time, I would say, in our industry where this is almost, not evolution, it's revolutionary, right? I think there's been a lot of commentary on this, the impact of Gen AI and AI per se. There have been sort of numbers shared about what kind of impact it can be made to the world global GDP. And the best part is we are right at the beginning, right? So whilst AI itself is not new, but the combination of Gen AI along with AI, along with technologies which is part of the digital automation, cloud, it is super significant, right? And yes, tax definitely, I think as Samir talked about, but we see this hitting or cutting across every industry, every persona, every role, and it can deliver some really, really, amazing outcomes as we go along on this journey. Yeah. So we are at a very interesting point in history and evolution on the technology curve. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to just add here, Sudhir, that especially with generative AI, and when I look at EY and tax, so we are a very knowledge-based, knowledge-centric practice. So I think there's a huge internal transformation opportunity that also is in front of us in the way we offer our services to our clients. I think what that itself poses a huge opportunity, not to us, but also to our clients.
Brilliant. On that very note, Samir, I wanted to check in with you. How beneficial has the tax hyper automation platform been for our clients, which we have developed jointly with UiPath?
So just to give a quick brief on what the platform is. So essentially, we have taken 3 or 4 different technologies and we've bundled that together and we've hosted it on a client on a cloud. So what are these technologies? So we use robotic process automation. That, of course, UiPath is leader of that. A lot of the tax processes are rule-based. We use document intelligence because there's a lot of unstructured data that we need to consume. AI, we talked about, and then we also use analytics. And what we've done is we've taken a very design-centric thinking, and we have tried to build a solution in such a way which is very easy for our clients to use and consume. So this is a great way for our clients to actually access AI and some of these new technologies, which is otherwise very hard for clients to access in a very simple and easy way. The other thing we've done differently is that we've actually made it into an OpEx model. So instead of clients investing huge amount of capital with us upfront, we usually structure it in such a way that clients can pay it over a period of time. So I think with these two approaches, we just made it very easy for our clients to use our technology. So I think we've heard very positive things about from our clients in terms of what it can do and the kind of innovation that we can drive through this approach.
Thanks for that, Samir. Nitin, would you also like to shed some light on the hypertax automation platform?
Oh, yes. This has been a wonderful and interesting journey for us, along with EY and Samir specifically, right? I think, I and Samir have had several conversations on this and really sort of, how did you take an existing tax platform, which is probably very rules-based and that's how tax operates. And how do you infuse the latest and the greatest, right? I think automation that's where we saw the initial opportunity. How do you bring in as much automation as possible to these sort of repetitive tasks? And that's what, a bot does typically, right? But then as we progressed on this journey and as we were building out this solution and offering, we wanted to explore one of our technologies called intelligent document processing, right? Which actually works on a specialized AI foundation, which allows, documents to be sort of very intelligently classified, be able to extract data, provide context, and then, how do you also provide and then let the bots or the automation tools take action on it, right? So that was like the second step in the journey. And then as we were sort of about to sort of, go to market, GenAI came into the picture, right? And very quickly, we sort of pivoted on that. We also then explored how we can bring in more of the GenAI piece of the technology into the whole offering and solution, right? So the way I see it, this is going to be a continuous process, as AI is, right? It is continuous learning. We do deep learning. We train the model. We build those ML models. And that's how I see this building and get evolving, right? So, and we've moved very quickly on this, and credit to Samir and team, working very closely with our teams. So yeah, looking forward to as we sort of roll out this across clients and see what kind of benefits they get out of this.
Sure thing. And for our listeners, I would just like to mention that in October 2023, UiPath awarded EY India as the Global Innovation Partner for the year in Las Vegas. So great things have already come off this platform, and here's looking to more.
Can I just add to that, Sudhir? Yeah, because
yes, please,
that
Nitin.
was definitely sort of a jewel in the crown for us for this partnership. One is the fact that we were able to move so quickly with EY India and Samir and his team to build this out and not just build it out, right? We demonstrated this, we presented this to a large customer sort of gathering in Delhi, and also we were able to then put this into action at a very prestigious client in India as well, right? On the telecom side, right? So I think the award was not just for innovation, but also I think delivering at speed the innovation as well, right? So kudos to Samir and team for that, right? Yeah.
Excellent insights. Now, looking ahead, Nitin, how do you see the future of AI and GenAI, not just in India, but for our global markets as well?
Oh, I think, I don't know if I am really in a position to comment on that. I think the market has just, I think, opened up or even, exploded, right? I think there was the initial hysteria and hype, right? If you think about it, November 22 when GPT-3 came out, I think since then, things have settled down to an extent where, every possible client out there or customer is not even experimenting, right? I mean, they are, seriously looking at use cases. And, I think we've reached a stage where most customers believe this can significantly impact their business, right? And when I say business, it is where we see, the opportunity is it is more related to, areas of experience, right? So it could be employee experience, it could be customer experience, right? How do we change the narrative of just delivering maybe, productivity gains, right? Which was probably being done as it is through automation, right? But it is also how do we deliver experience. So the opportunity, I mean, there is some estimates that it can add 7 billion to GDP, right? I'm sure those are getting, rewritten as we speak, right? Because more and more new use cases are getting discovered and being deployed, right? Some of the early, I would say, adopters or, industries that have sort of gone, when we see definitely, in India, healthcare as a big area, right? We'd see fin services. I mean, tax is part of it, but banking, anything which is customer services oriented, and because of which then, there is huge, large contact center deployments, right? So how do you completely change the paradigm on customer experiences, bringing in sort of, and sort of AI powered agent on the contact center side, right? And then, delivering IT services, right? I think, AI is going to really sort of bring down one's ability to build applications. We're already using low code, no code, but there is a huge amount of automation and, and using generative AI that you can really cut down time to build and develop products and applications, right? So IT services is another big area that we're seeing. We're seeing testing within that as a big area, right, on the developer side. So yeah, these are the early sort of, areas, but yeah, I think we are right at the beginning of this, sort of revolution, so to speak, right? So early days, but it will impact each and every one of us. This is what we see. Yeah.
Indeed, AI seems to be absolutely everywhere right now. Samir, your thoughts, please?
Yeah, Sudhir. So one of the research that one of the firms did recently, top 10 areas where Gen AI will have an impact. I think tax is on the 7th in that list. I think the speed at which this is moving is unprecedented. We have not seen anything moving that fast right now. Even EY, within EY, the amount of investments that we're making in this space is again very, very at a different level. So in my view, we are just in the beginning of this curve, and the next couple of years will be very transformative for tax and for the sector in all. And I think with Nitin and us, we are very well positioned to be able to help clients in this journey as they go. So very exciting times ahead in the next couple of years, I would say.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for that. Indeed. So now this is obviously a very exciting vision for our future. Shifting gears slightly, Nitin, how valuable has the EY and the UiPath alliance been in building joint solutions and capturing the markets?
Okay, so I'll answer this in two ways, right? And you guys know this, EY is is a network of firms, right? So we work with EY globally as, as an entity, and then we work with EY at a network firm level, which is at an India level, right? So of course, globally, EY, is probably one of our largest partners and clients. We term you as a global SI, which means there is a lot of strategic engagement that happens and investments that happen on both sides. And one of the key sort of pillars of that strategy is how do we marry your domain expertise, your technology consulting experiences, build a synergistic sort of solution-led value proposition for our customers, right? And this can cut across industries, this can cut across, technology areas, right? It can be domain specific. So tax is one area, and we have taken the lead here from an India standpoint, right? And probably, for usually it is the global team that builds a solution and gets rolled out. In this case, we probably want to do it the reverse. We built it out in India, and Samir and I are seeing how we can expand this into other geographies and markets and take it truly and make it a global platform, right? At some point, right? There are other such initiatives as well, which is you have a team in the UK that we work very, very closely with in building, and there will be a sort of offerings that will be rolled out over the months and weeks, right? So very, very exciting time. And, the fact that, we have this platform available, which cuts across, which brings in both Gen AI capabilities and what we call as specialized AI capabilities. I think EY will see how best it can be infused into or embedded into many more platforms, right? Not just tax, right? So for example, ESG is a platform that you guys work upon, right? So we are looking at all those possibilities. Yeah. Sudhir.
Great. Samir, sir, your take on the alliance and what holds for the future?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that allowed us to move so fast, I would say, A is the technology, because we just saw that we are able to innovate very quickly using the existing technology that UiPath has to offer. But more than the technology, I think what I must say is the whole teaming that happened between us and Nitin, and the whole handshake and the DNA, the way it worked. I think that allowed us to move a lot more faster than what what we could have done otherwise on our own or with any other partner. So I think this partnership is very strategic to us. We see that this will take us. This is a long journey that we will do together, and really looking forward to see how we can create a huge market impact as Gen AI unfolds in the next couple of years.
That is indeed impressive. Now, finally, looking ahead, what lies in store for the EY and the UiPath Alliance? Samir, your thoughts, please.
Sudhir, I think the recognition that was provided to us by UiPath team as the innovation partner of the year, I think that was noticed across the EY network. And what we really like to do is, like what Nitin mentioned, that we see India as a pilot, and how this actually can be one of those offerings that can come, start from India, and then we can replicate that across the global firm. So to me, that is huge. That is the conversation that we are having internally within EY with a lot of the global leaders. And I'm very excited that this will, this is one of those unique things that we would have incubated in India and take it global. And I think that itself will be of massive, massive opportunity to both us and to UiPath. Yeah.
Fantastic. Nitin, would you like to add on that?
No, absolutely. And, and I see it, the way is, yes, going global for sure. But also I think that what this has proven, and not that we didn't already know, is this could, EY India along with UiPath India can be an innovation hub, right, for both the companies, right, and for markets, which is, of course, we focus on India as a market, but also become a hub for other markets, right, where we create the solutions, because the talent is here in India, right? And I don't know if you've seen, we've made some major commitments on building talent on AI in India in a recent DevCon in Bangalore, right? And I see more and more sort of collaboration happening with India, EY India locally for markets beyond India too, right? So this becomes a solution hub, it becomes an innovation hub, it almost becomes like a COE that we build here, right? So that's the way I see it, this sort of unfolding and developing as we go along. Yeah, and why not, right? Yeah. So, big things can come out of India for sure through this partnership. Yeah.
Finally, obviously, there are great things in the AI space, but what challenges or bottlenecks do we foresee posed by AI? And how do we ensure our clients are not held back in their adoption of AI in the future?
No, I think, Sudhir, fantastic question, right? I think, there are definitely challenges and we've seen that in the early part of the release of the technology, right? So what we've done as an organization, and within the platform, created a trust layer, right? And what we actually mean by trust layer is, how do you ensure that there is a good understanding of the implications of those predictions, provided by the LLMs, right? How do we provide transparency, right, in terms of what sort of features and functionality is being used by the AI models, right? And then of course control, right? How do you provide the level of control so that sensitive data is filtered? You're not exposing IP of the company, right? And there is visibility before it goes and hits the LLM gateways, right? So I think this is very, very critical, because we are talking enterprise, we're talking critical data, right? And one bad step can really sort of uh, can push that entire sort of agenda back, right? So we're doing our bit, and partnering with EY, and also allows us to bring in that credibility from a solution standpoint, right? I'll let Samir sort of share his thoughts on this too.
No, so Nitin, you're right. I mean, the amount of press that has happened recently around some of the events that have caused AI. So my view is that the guardrails will be very important that we build, and then I think UiPath is already beginning to work on building those guardrails on privacy and other things. The other thing which I sometimes feel is also a reason why clients are a little held back is the whole perception that this will take away their jobs. I think that to me is equally an important challenge. And in my view, it's only a matter of time when people realize that this is really a tool to aid them in being more productive in the way they work, and not necessarily a threat to what they do. So I think that is also a misconception, I would say, which needs to be overcome for this solution to truly get its potential. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Wonderful. On that note, I have to say thank you very much, Samir and Nitin, for joining us, and taking time off your busy schedules, sharing your expertise and your insights. I think this has been an extremely enriching and insightful conversation. It has been a pleasure having you both on the show.
Thank you, Sudhir. Much appreciated. Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sudhir. And hopefully we can come back in 6 months and talk about what we have jointly achieved. So looking forward to that. Thank
Indeed,
you. Yeah.
indeed, of course. And on that note, thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this episode of Navigating Alliances. Stay tuned for more episodes where we unravel key insights of the EY partner ecosystem. Until then, if you would like us to cover any specific topics for discussion, please feel free to share it with us on our website or email to us at markets.eyindia@in.ey.com. Thank you very much for tuning in, and goodbye.